Welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Nathan Masters here with a Bricklink haul. I have not numbered the hauls previously on the channel, but I was looking back through our videos and this is going to be number 4. So I'm going to start numbering them now, and as we go forward, probably be covering more Bricklink hauls than I have in the past. So I'm coming up on almost 30 Bricklink orders, all-time history, going back to 2018 or so, I think is when I first started using Bricklink. But we have not really covered that on the channel much at all. Late last year, Josh and I did host a video shopping on Bricklink, and so that's kind of when we first started talking about Bricklink hauls here on the channel, and I've done a couple more since then. So number 4 Bricklink haul today, and it's going to be from Brick-N-Brac. So yeah, I just wanted to look through some of the parts that I did buy this time around and get a look at some of the stuff coming in. So I found Brick-N-Brac was a pretty reasonably sized store, pretty good lot variety there, and I did buy 129 different pieces in 37 unique lots, so a couple of duplicates coming into play from this store. A couple of the things I bought that I do have a use for right away are up in the front here, and these are related to the Prince James passenger car mock that I recently talked about. So these 2x16 white plates are part of the foundation down on the first layer of the car, so right down here actually, and those were used because I went with a plate based car base instead of the preformed plates. So I talked about that more in the mock video, but basically I'm using 4 of these per car, and I want to do at least one more with the observation on one end of the car. So I needed a few more. I got 5 from the store. I'll use 4 of them for another car, and these were 30 cents a piece, so not too bad for a larger plate. And then 2 of the other pieces in this bag are also for Prince James, but I didn't have any on hand when I built the current 2 that I have. So these 2x2 Technic plates with the pin on the bottom will be used for the chandelier. Right now they're dark tan, I just didn't have any in black. And as I'm going through my job lot Technic bin, I think I found one more of the black ones, so then I will have all 3 for Prince James. And then these 2 teal pieces are for the station wagon that I bought on Rebrickable. I needed a couple of those pieces in teal. So that's some of those plates. The other stuff for Prince James, we got here the 4x6 roof section. The first iteration of the passenger car was a lot more reliant on this piece. Basically I used 3 on each end and 2 in the middle section, and I was using 8 of these per car. So I did rework that a little bit, and now I'm down to 2, 4, 6 per car. So the 2 cars complete that are built right now, I'm using 12. And I think I had 2 left over after that. So I did need a few more to build one more car. But I'd also like to rebuild my own train green passenger car, and that one used 6 as well. So at some point I'll be keeping an eye out for these. I have enough right now to build another Prince James, but this piece was pretty high on the priority list for this particular Bricklink purchase. So I'm glad to get 7 more of those. And the price on those for you guys, just check that here real quick. 27 cents a piece. And that was just about the average on the site at the moment. So a couple stores I looked at, they were a little higher, a couple stores a little lower, but that 25 cent mark is about the average. Some of the other stuff in this bag, this is for Carter Trellis, and actually I am at a standstill with that mock right now because this is a pretty uncommon piece that I didn't take into account when I chose the roof color. So the 2x2 concave corner slope piece, and they're just not really out there in quantity. So they're out there on Bricklink for reasonable prices, but no one has like 20 of them. And I guess it's, I put a lot of gables on Carter trellis, so I need a lot of these guys, and I didn't have that many on hand, not as many as I thought I did. So I am going to be picking these up when I can, but it's going to be more of a piecemeal kind of thing like I did with Cafe Corner for the most part. So Carter trellis is kind of on hold right now. A couple of Technic, some other roof slopes here. These are neon orange, transparent, so kind of a fun color. And then these, I used up the last of the ones I had on hand in the Mediterranean Market Street. So kind of just replenishing the stock. The 2x2x2, I think these are 65-degree slopes in black. I also built a digital barn that uses a lot of those pieces. So if I ever want to build that barn with actual bricks in the future, I will need to have lots more of those. Alright, let's move into another bag here. For the Prince James car again, a couple of these pieces were ordered for that. So some of these rods that go on the end of the car, on either end. And yeah, just kind of, not necessarily that I was out of stock of this piece after I built 2 passenger cars, but I do have kind of this internal policy, and I don't want to say policy because that sounds really strict. It's just a habit that I like to get into of when I put something in a mock, I do like to replenish that supply, especially if I plan on having it built for a long time. So the Prince James cars, I'd like to leave them together, and that means these bars are going to be tied up. So if I order a few more, especially when they're reasonably priced, then that can help keep things in the inventory. Some other pieces in here, some dark blue, mainly for the Cafe Corner project, and not even stuff that I was out of at this point. It just kind of, the dark blue brick stock was getting pretty low, so getting some of that replenished. And then dark red 1x1s. Initially, I wanted to use these in the passenger car, but I've somewhat redesigned this panel under the window now. So before they were going to be going on either side and make this dark red box, but I'm using some studs nut on top styles. I'd like to change that over. So not so much needing these for a mock, just getting them back in the collection. Dark red 1x1s were pretty scarce until today. And then this nice 10x10 octagonal base. What was the price on this guy? That's why I bought it. 39 cents, so under $1 for this piece. I feel like that's a pretty good deal. Has some nice potential for dome building, or it was probably in a adventure set or something along those lines. So, you know, one of those larger, older molds, I like to have stuff like that. Some modified plates. Here's some interesting bubble canopies. This part is new to my collection. So I think these are 6x8 bubble canopies. Kind of this transparent. And then these 2 windshields are also for the station wagon. Right now it's dark transparent, and these are trans clear. And those big bubble canopies were only 21 cents a piece. Not bad. Picked up 2 of them. Okay, keep on moving through here. Drop some comments down below about this stuff if it's interesting. Here's a boat plate. So again, not something I have plans for at the moment, but don't mind adding that in. And then this is an interesting inverted kind of curvature piece. It's 4x8 or 4x10. Yeah, I think it's 4x10. It has some Technic connection over here, and then it actually matches the curvature of an upper piece that was back in the Ultra Agents. No, not Ultra Agents. Before that, with Ogle. I don't remember the name of that team at the moment. But yeah, kind of another new piece to the collection. Something I hadn't come across before. Another bag here has some large door frames. Again, something that I have been using in Prince James, but not necessarily out at the moment. So 4 more of those. A nice light gray vertical train window, and 2 of those, and then some sand green new. These are kind of the current style window frames. So at some point, the second floor for every modular will be picking up speed as we get into 2022. So I do have the bank modular, and this is the color and size of window frames. So if I'm putting a floor in the middle of that building, I'll probably be doing a lot with these sand green window frames. Start stocking up now. And then as small as your window for the townhouse in the bookshop modular, again with that extra floor. And getting close to the end, last couple bags here. This one has a interesting transition inverted slope piece. So this goes from 6 wide to 4 wide, and I did have one of the I think the City Space theme in 2019 did a Mars approach. So one of those sets, one of those little shuttles had one of these pieces, and I had that shuttle built for a little while. I did put out a video about that. And then pretty soon after that, I used this in the Clats VC mock. So it's a piece that I'd like to have on hand, but don't necessarily want to take apart the Clats VC just to have it. So I did grab one more from this store. Some of these, I'm finally getting the pieces I needed to complete the Sopwith Camel that I bought on eBay. And then some blue-violet, very large triple wedges. Again, one of those pieces I do not have plans for at the moment, but I like that color. So once I get a nice stock of those pieces, I might be able to do something spaceship related with those, and I will grab that price as well. Those were respectively 12 and 15 cents for the left and right. So interesting, those aren't exactly the same price, but pretty reasonable again with those. Some 4x6 half studded dark red plates, another piece for the Prince James. These go down here as part of the floor structure. And this was really interesting actually. In this mock, I needed a way for this door to open to the inside, but also have some structural integrity in the floor. And so this piece was the solution there. This 3x4 area is tiled, and so the door can swing in over the tiled area, but then also have some studded connections underneath where the walls are, and then also some studs for the seats. So I used 10 of these in the 2 cars I have built, and I did need a couple more if I'm going to build a 3rd car. Another Prince James piece here. These go to the inside of the car for little lantern, little lamp build. So the tan 1x1 Technic brick. Alright, 4 more pieces here, and that'll wrap up Bricklink Haul number 4. If I can get the bag open. We've got a little 2x2 with the pedestal print, and this is something that I've had. The lower part, 2x6, has a number 2 and a 3 printed on it, and I never had the top of the podium. So I actually have 2 of those printed 2x6s. So here, getting 2 of the top 2x2 podium. This is what the assembly looks like. I don't have the 2x6 on hand at the moment. And then the last 2 little pieces are the Life on Mars Martian head. I do have a couple of these guys I got on eBay a couple years back, but this is the one with the printed head with the blue and then kind of a helmet style on there. So these are the Martians from 2001, and that was an interesting theme where it was actually somewhat cooperative in kind of the lore and the backstory for that theme. I don't think it was ever portrayed in the set images or manuals that the minifigures and the Martians were against each other in that theme. It was almost more of a cooperative. So I like to collect the Life on Mars theme. It has some cool sand colors. That was back in eBay number 1. But yeah, that's the Brick-N-Brac haul. So thank you to that store. A lot of the stuff ended up with just due to reasonable prices, and then maybe 40 to 50% is for some ongoing projects with the little station wagon, teal and white station wagon, and the Prince James railroad cars, both of which have videos up right now. So check those out if you haven't seen them. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, guys. Another Bricklink haul, and like I mentioned, I'm going to start numbering these now. So kind of retroactively going back, the first 3, I guess I'll put a number in the description, and then from here on out, I'll probably put that number in the title. So today, number 4. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Brick System Brothers.